I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, all meetings ordered, 6 o'clock. Regular meeting of the City of Middle River. Do we have any changes or additions to the agenda tonight? Hearing nothing, we will continue on. We'll move the introduction of late items. We'll move those into the new business at the end there, just before staff report. And we'll take care of all the new business at the same time. Is anyone here for the open forum? Okay. Hearing nothing, seeing nothing, we'll move on to old business. The Sunday liquor ordinance. Okay, so we need to, in order to put this in, the plan is to go ahead and take out the old ordinance and put in this one. We did give it to both the Wheel and the Legion to look over it. I got a hold of Dave Thompson this morning, just to make sure there wasn't anything that he had seen. I don't know if anyone talked to anyone from the Legion or anyone. No? Okay. So I would say no news is probably good news. So we will need to go ahead and make a resolution to repeal the old ordinance and impose the new ordinance number 7.031.
I make the motion to repeal the old ordinance, 7.03, to, I'm putting in a new one at 7.031.
All right, we have a motion on the floor by Deb, second by Josh. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So with that then, we'll move on with posting that one in the newspaper. Go from there. Yes. All right. Next we have City Council custom emails. And we talked about it last time, having emails for everyone so that we can relay all of any city information through there, then we don't have to run it all for personal email addresses. Laura, it looks like you did some digging through this webmail, which I'm assuming that's where we have our website?
Mm-hmm. WordPress.
Okay, WordPress. And that's who you got this information from, this Kate?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So would she be setting that up, or?
Probably.
Probably?
Put it in her hand.
Okay. I'm just trying to find her. Is it?
Cost $7 a month.
That's if you use Google.
That's normal.
Instead of free emails for everyone through webmail.
Webmail?
Otherwise, Gmail would be $7 per month, is my understanding.
So then we have to set up an email on there. It would be a different platform.
Okay. And I'm assuming that webmail, yeah, okay, so that's through there. Do you know what she charges for putting that together?
I do not, but she has helped both me and Teresa a lot over the past year or so managing the website.
Okay. Yeah, I would think that's probably the way to go so that we have that all. But up to you guys.
I'm not sure if this is in writing, but she did call me a couple weeks ago. She told me that if we go through the free option, free, awesome, but you would not be able to access your company, emails through your phone.
Okay, that's a problem.
Yeah, it'd only be desktop only, or laptop. But $7 a month, we would be able to access it through cell phones, through Gmail. But I don't think that's an email, but she did verbally tell me that.
Yeah, it sounds like we have one option and it's Gmail.
Well, she indicates here the Microsoft Outlook app on their phone to connect.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
it
to-
says if
how
you
to
want to
set up
check
on the
the
iPhone.
phone via, I don't know, they will either need to have an iPhone or a Microsoft Outlook app. Or they can check email via the URL.
And that would just be another way.
Do you have an iPhone?
Well, yeah, I have an iPhone too, but
Okay, well, I'm just,
I can check with Wixroom too, can't I?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, just do Wictel emails, can't imagine, I think those are free, aren't they?
yeah, you should be.
So, I'd say probably check with Wictel, as long as they're free, I mean, we could probably,
Do that and table
Yeah.
decision till
Yep.
next meeting.
that's,
Or confirm with her,
Great.
cause it does say they can check their phone via.
well, we can do both, we can have her confirm with her
Yes,
and
yes, absolutely.
check with,
Yeah, because Wixel would be free and $7 a month per user, we don't need that really.
right, and I don't know what we get. I don't know what we get for that $7, it said being able to check with the phone and, a couple more gigs, right? So it's 30 gigabyte, whereas the other one's a 500 megabyte. So, and I had to look up roughly how many emails that was, and it was like 1,000 emails or 2,000 emails if they're short or something, 2 lines. I don't know what that means, but
I only have 918 not open emails.
there you go.
No problem.
So, so what I'm hearing is the consensus wants to check and we'll come back to it again next month.
Sounds good.
Okay, and you got that, Laura? Perfect. Alright. Moving on. Edwin, Samantha, water. Okay. We have here review ordinance chapter 8.02, but I'm not sure, well, let's discuss it first and then we'll see if that has any bearing on what we're talking about. So, I'm going to ask you guys and also Dave, Dave Graham, if you could talk to, I believe where we're at right now is doing a flow test with the 5-gallon bucket, filling it up, and then timing that, and doing that 2 or 3 times, and then going to another site and doing the same thing, and then possibly even one more site and doing it again. Is that correct, Dave?
Yes.
Okay, and yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I'm
sorry.
kind of waiting for everybody to get healthy.
Oh,
I've
okay,
been sick. They've had sick kids in the house and that too.
okay,
I don't want to get this back.
right,
I'm
okay,
getting
fair enough.
over it.
Do we want to tentatively schedule anything tonight? I mean, do we have, does anyone know?
Well, we did
If
one
we can-
flow test already with Eric there, and we got 5 cups in 47 seconds.
Okay, who's there?
Eric Weller from the state.
Okay, it's the
Minnesota
gentleman that
Department
came in?
Yes.
Okay, and did he do the flow test from the meter?
Nope.
No?
Nope,
Okay.
it says you do it from a faucet.
Okay, so I think what we would plan on doing is, we'll just start right at the beginning, and we'll flow test before and after the meter, just to make sure that the meter itself isn't what could be possibly causing the issue, or if the issue isn't in front of that.
He did say that the fittings that are on there should not be used on
Okay.
right before and after the meter. He asked how long ago that was installed. I didn't have an exact date to give him, it's when the
2 years.
city. I told him it wasn't long ago.
Okay,
Um,
and I believe it would be less than that, because, and correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I know, you guys had another meter come and get put in? No? Oh,
Since this issue, no.
oh, okay.
We took off the meter that was there and with Dave and
Okay,
looked
that
at
was
it
the
and stuff,
initial.
and- Yeah.
Okay, perfect,
Yeah,
okay,
but he did say that the metal fittings on, he said they are not appropriate for going before and after the meter.
Oh.
Because they are known to cause issues.
okay, so, yeah, so I would think that right now we'd wanna, I mean, you guys still have water at this point?
It's,
I mean, we're
every
not-
day is different.
Okay, so,
Some days we have none, other days it's normal flow. And so, when Eric was there and we were talking business, he was there, the dishwasher literally shut off while he was there, and then it sits and beeps because there was no water flow to it. So we had lost all water, and then obviously we grabbed actually my coffee pot, because then it tells you, your cups. And he's like, oh, just do the math. And it took 47 seconds for 5 cups, and he's like, you basically have no water. I'm like, exactly, that's why you're here. And then there's other times that there's full normal pressure. And so his concern then was, cause he went through everything, he looked at all the water lines upstairs, downstairs, faucets, everything. He had taken off the aerators. He asked how old the filters were, and the faucets were, and I even showed him all the receipts for that. I said, literally all of them are
Right.
within the last 3 months.
okay, yeah, so I think our best bet would be just start right at the beginning, and we'll do that, we'll test that. And hopefully, we find out either, we got good water or we don't, and we'll kind of go from there. Hopefully, I mean, are you guys able to schedule tonight? Dave, are we able to schedule something tonight, or no?
Yeah, that's fine, but
Oh,
I just don't wanna be over there if they got a bunch of sick kids too.
We have a sick child as of yesterday. Otherwise, last month we had been free and available, and there was actually a day that we were told that people would be coming by and did not.
3 weeks I was sick.
okay, yeah, and I know, Dave, you were
And
sick in
we
Dallas.
had a sick kid since yesterday at 4 p.m.
Okay, so maybe what we'll do is we'll,
Don't exaggerate.
Maybe
Yeah.
like tentatively say Monday,
Monday.
Dave.
Monday?
if that works, tentatively.
Monday we are not available.
Tuesday then?
Tuesday's fine.
Okay. And then Dave, what time?
Matt, what time do you do this?
That's what I just grabbed my
Okay.
thing here.
Tuesday the 18th. Must be a
Tuesday is good for me.
A little black book.
You and the black book, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, Tuesday I got open.
Okay.
You guys are probably good Tuesday? Okay.
Time.
Yeah, sometime.
Time, what time?
What time for you, Matt? What time will work for you?
I can make just about anything work, so, how about you, Edwin, Sam? I mean,
I'm home after noon and just don't want it too late at night.
okay,
6.
yeah.
Then you
Yeah,
can
6
start.
o'clock work for everyone, or 5 even? I mean, 5 maybe, then we have light outside if we have to go out there.
So I'd rather do 5, so it's not in the middle of trying to make dinner. for the
There you
kids.
go.
5, there we go.
Okay.
I could do 5. Perfect. And then we'll go from there. Again, if you guys run into 0 water at all, we do have a way to get water there.
Yeah.
So just, keep in touch with us or Laura, or, Laura would probably be the easiest,
Mhm.
or me, if it's after hours or anything. Council, do we have any other questions, comments?
No, I think that's a good plan.
Okay. Perfect. Anything else from you guys on this?
Well, what is that ordinance, chapter 8?
That's what, we could, let's take a look at it here. Okay. Find it here, is it under?
Yeah, it's behind the next meeting.
Oh, under old business. Oh, perfect.
Pictures of it.
Yeah, perfect. Alright. I mean, do you guys, do we wanna read it? In other words, it just kinda looks like the whole water meter of supplying water, prescribing rules, regulations of the municipal water system, and prescribing prescribing penalties for violation thereof. I think, from what I can tell, this is just laying out who's, you know, it's our cost, to the stop, from what I'm seeing, and then from the stop on, is you guys. Service pipe is to be installed by licensed plumbers. To me, I don't really see anything that falls under what we're talking about right now, but it's probably good to have for, well, as we continue going, just so we have it, and you guys have it, so. Perfect. Any more questions from you guys? Otherwise, if you wanna continue to read it and you have something later, we can address it then.
Yeah, you
But-
can keep that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care, it's gonna be on the website in a day anyways, so
I was gonna
what
say,
the heck?
is it all on?
Yeah, you just well keep it. Makes it easier than running up there and getting it printed.
Getting a copy from here.
Yeah. But if you guys have no questions or comments, we can continue to go on, otherwise,
Well, one issue is the carpet downstairs.
little louder, please, sorry.
So, the carpet we had downstairs,
Yep,
well, kind of got wrecked.
yes, I'm assuming, did you call your insurance company, I take it?
We have the same insurance company.
Right,
So
okay,
we talked to them, and they said they were gonna contact the city.
okay. Laura, did you get in touch with them at all?
Sorry, to start a claim.
With Dan Douglas?
Not that I know of.
Okay, he did stop by and tell me that they were going to send it in, and that the state would look into it. But they would get a hold of Laura with any information, so if she hasn't been contacted, I assume nothing's been said, but I know the process is ongoing. So, yes, so Laura, if you wanna reach out to Dan and see how that claim is going, if they need anything else from us, or how they're gonna proceed, because I'm assuming they have to get a hold of one of us, and then we'll know from there. Yeah, yeah, so. And correct me if I'm wrong here, the issue was that, the water meter, had leaked onto some
When it
B
was-
carpet, like the whole basement area, and ruined the carpet?
Yes, when it was
Okay.
reinstalled after it was taken apart to look inside of it.
Okay, so, yeah, I'm assuming they'll get a hold of us and we'll go from there, so.
Is that when the meter was originally installed, the new meter?
No, it was after you had come out, and you and Edwin had taken the meter down and looked into the meter and said it looked open, and everything looked good, and then when it went back on, it started leaking. And that's when, we didn't know about it because the kids weren't around, and 4 days later, we had that much water and sitting in the basement. It was like, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, we'll go from there then, or is there, I mean,
Yep, no, that's fine.
okay, cause I haven't heard any updates and you guys have not?
No,
Okay.
no, we hadn't heard anything either, so.
Okay. Perfect. Well, not perfect, but at least we're moving along. Yes, okay, perfect. Anything else? Okay,
Can I make a small suggestion?
sure.
If you're having hit and miss water flows, maybe just take a sheet of paper and just kind of log good at this time, bad at this time, just to help who's ever doing troubleshooting. It may help identify something.
Not a bad idea. Thank you
We'll
guys.
figure it out.
Yeah, okay. Perfect. Okay. Establishing the floodplain is usually for the fire chief and the city administrator, correct? Okay. So then I would assume we need a motion to make those two, Kenny Vito and Laura Klingstead, to put them onto the floodplain. All right, Josh makes a motion, second by Tammy, all in favor? Opposed, same sign. And it carries, so we'll have you two on the floodplain committee. Moving on to new business, review of the walking path ordinance. Okay, and I believe this is in because we had, Connie Rasmussen had, complained that John Sheff Jr., driving across on the Third Street location. So we brought up that we would review the ordinance. I know I had heard issues about this in past meetings. I know there was an ordinance update, and the way I see it now, right, there's not able to pour concrete, but do we need him to put that in next year before he drives on it? I mean, what's the plan with that?
I would say, my suggestion, I guess, would be mail out a copy of the ordinance, highlight the obligation of the apron, and just say, looking forward to your response when you foresee this being completed, spring/summer of 2025.
Can I ask why he doesn't use the?
That's what it's also set up.
He may just be planning on putting the driveway there. So,
And to be honest with you, from the walking path perspective, concrete's gonna hold a little bit better than asphalt anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You're better off having that concrete there.
right. Yeah, and so
It's just odd to me, you know, the road is over here, so.
The road isn't really good. It's asphalt, and I was complaining to them all the time.
Yes,
okay.
it was put in for a reason when we were gonna build over there, so
Right.
that's my thoughts.
Well, and I would say, at least in my opinion, as long as they're pouring that,
Yeah.
there should be no,
It's gonna be made better than it currently is.
right.
But
So,
I think mailing a copy of the ordinance is a concern point. And expectations kind of, maybe it's a short letter saying, our expectations are since you're accessing your property from this way, you're gonna be putting in this apron on spring or summer 2025. Here's the ordinance guidelines, or, per se.
okay, my question is, so if we have it in there, and I understand it's middle of winter, it's not gonna do anything, but do we grant him some sort of like
Yes.
exception to drive
Yeah.
on it until
Right.
completed?
Yep.
Just so that, we still fall under the letter of
I think so.
the ordinance? Yeah?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
Because it is in the construction phase, and that's put right into that ordinance.
Yes.
Access may be granted during construction phase to allow contractors, owners, access to property.
Yes.
So maybe just state in that letter that right now we understand you're in the construction phase and we're granting you permission to access it this way. But moving forward, based on the ordinance, our expectations are this, if you're gonna continue to access the property that way.
Deb?
Yeah, I agree.
Em? Okay, so with that, I think that we should probably do a formal motion on that.
Make a motion to
Josh?
do what I just said.
Yes, all right, so there's a motion on the table by Josh,
I'll second.
second by Deb, all in favor?
Right.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Review Legacy Center Committee minutes.
That'd be sweet.
yeah, I think that'd be great. Debbie, you have the floor.
Yes, so our legacy committee and our Little River Legacy Fund committees have all been meeting and Morgan Ness and Amy Johnson are the two members on our Little River Legacy Fund committee, which is the nonprofit committee for the Legacy Center. And so we wanted to update you on what's been going on with the mold remediation. All of the damaged tiles and insulation have been removed. And yesterday, Greg and I delivered 110 new ceiling tiles and 6 rolls of insulation. So Tony Brandon could start this week replacing the insulation and the ceiling tiles. And I talked to Brian Beckham today from the Northwest Service Cooperative. He's a health and safety specialist that works with schools and cities. And we're scheduling him to come here this month so he can test all the affected rooms and we can get clearance on the air quality. And we've received $3,000 in donations to refinish the gym floor. And so Brian Goldrock is going to do the refinishing. We just paid for the materials and he's donating all of his time to get it refinished. And we want to get all of this work done as soon as possible because Guy Strandberg is working with a committee to have another 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And we're looking at April 12th for this tournament, so he needs to make sure everything is clear that we can take down the air quality warning signs on all the doors as soon as we get clearance on the air
You
quality.
should be in good shape there, right? I mean, if he's gonna be here this month, but floor-wise, does that fit into Brian's plan too?
Yes,
Awesome.
yes, yeah, we told them we need the floor refinished prior to, getting all the information out for the tournament. And then Lori applied for a $5,000 grant from Cambridge for upgrades on the weight rooms, so those funds will come in April, and we're really looking at having a top-notch facility for Middle River.
I'm looking forward to meeting there again, cause I can't hear crap.
And did you, make a copy for everyone, whatever we have been doing yet?
I just
Yeah,
made for the council.
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't make copies for everyone, but just the timeline. September, we had Nestle Roofing put on the new metal roof on the shingled area of the building. We had Northwest Roofing repair the flat roof, which should be good for 2 to 3 years. All the rooms were flagged in January, where we had contaminated insulation and ceiling tiles that were damaged. We had ozone cleaners rotated on all the affected rooms, and that started January 10th. We had an inspection of all the rooms, spaces, ceilings inspected to make sure no other areas in the building were compromised on January 13th. On January 17th, we had a licensed custom cleaner inspect the building and he found no sign of mold. Greg Radnicki checked and inspected the ductwork and all was clear. He offered suggestions for our peace of mind, such as using a disinfectant with our carpet cleaning and spray of fungicide up in the ceilings before re-insulating and adding ceiling tiles. And in February, they recommended the spray, the concrobium mold control being applied to all areas, including the space between the old and the new building. The wall opened up and sprayed between the library, conference, and office rooms. And now, this week, we're looking at replacing the insulation and ceiling tiles, and then cleaning the carpets with the disinfectant, and then having Brian Bickham come and do the air quality testing this month. And then we contacted Mike Douglas just for the criteria for removing the contaminated materials and just making sure that everything is, air quality is up to snuff and we can open it and feel confident about the quality of the building.
We do have a machine in there that does test the air quality right now, that is just test, and all of it is good. You can bring it, and if you don't trust me, you can grab that 15 minutes just to tell you what the quality of the room is, and then you can move it on.
And I think that's good for peace of mind and people that are currently working on it, but ultimately, we need the bigger guy to sign
Yeah.
off on it.
Right.
It sounds like everything's headed in the right direction.
And it should really help with the heating costs to get the ceiling
Right.
insulated,
For sure.
sealed up again. I just see dollar bills floating out of this.
For questions on this, just reading through it, you guys are wanting to know, once that test comes through, if you can remove the
The signs,
signs.
yes.
Okay, that was one question. Is there any other questions that you have for us that we can address right now?
I think we want to know, we need to know so we can start promoting the trail.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
that's-
this is going, if we do all we get that done, I'm sorry, Brian.
No problem. So, Brian Bickel is good, he's committed to coming here in the month of February?
Communicated today,
Okay,
and I gave him dates in February where I can meet up with him there.
okay. Do you know how long, I mean, does he just take air samples and gotta send it away to be evaluated, or is it an on-site thing, or do you know?
I think it's on site, but I'll check with
Okay.
him.
Then I guess the big question to the city is that if he comes in and tests it and his tests are clear, is that adequate to have the signs taken down in the building?
Yes and no. Yes, it is, but we still need to get together as a group and go over those numbers.
Oh,
I mean, they just can't come down, say, so-and-so said it's okay. We
No,
all need to
we
sit
have
together
to
and
have
agree
it,
as a
yeah.
group, just so we all agree, cause I don't want it to come back and be like, well, they just took down the signs.
Will that be next month, or would that be?
Hopefully that's in 2 weeks, it sounds like,
Well,
right?
yeah, this is, we're just special meeting, is what I'm saying. 'Cause
Yeah,
if we have to wait another month,
We're gonna
it's
have to-
not.
No, I think that's totally worth a
Okay.
special meeting.
Yeah.
You know,
But I think for peace of mind and for everybody to be on the same page, we all need to be together and make that decision.
and, you know, we're not trying to put pressure on you just with this basketball tournament.
No, I
You know,
think
we want,
that's a great thing.
we want it done right,
Right.
Yeah.
but it's more just what is kind of looking at timetables, cause, in reality, April, was the 12th, is really the only day we could potentially have the tournament.
I think
right?
you're gonna be okay.
Um,
And I think you'll be able to promote it
And,
before that.
You know, kind of back it up from that with promotions and everything else,
Right.
it is.
So my question is we wanna review the numbers before we sign off on it?
Well, we have to, we all have to agree. We can't just say, yeah, they got the results and it's fine. That doesn't.
Right. What I'm wondering is if this gentleman that comes in,
Mhm.
Yes.
you know, and if he says it's all good, you know, do we
Yeah.
allow him at that point to take it down and then we come back and review it if we
Well,
think it's
If he's
not-
willing to sign off on it.
Right,
If
'cause
you
I-
have his signature signing off on it, I would take that as, yes, this is safe.
Right, cause I have no problem sitting and reviewing numbers, I just don't know what we're gonna find more than a guy who
I
does it.
absolutely understand, but I'm just saying for like peace of mind, it can't just be me walking up there and going, well, I see it's fit, this is okay.
No,
let's
right.
take it."
No,
So
it's
a
not
written
me.
report is what you.
Yeah.
Right, and if he's willing to sign off on it, he's the guy that inspected, he's willing to sign off on it, we have something to go back on and say, well, this is his qualifications. He said it's safe, I'm on board.
So he
100%.
should return, or you should return the report to Aurora then, so that we could.
Right.
have-
Right, yeah.
And if you wanted to meet with Brian, he'd probably be very willing to meet with you too. He's the director of health and safety, and he's familiar with the school here because,
He's been in it many
yeah,
Okay.
so he
Oh, that's
knew each
Perfect.
room, like, this is so-and-so's room.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me, I
And
don't
then
think,
him coming in is totally independent from the work that Tony is doing, or the floor,
right.
or anything else.
No, he's just
I mean,
coming in
if it
to
worked for his
test.
schedule, it'd be tomorrow, he'd be in tomorrow.
Well, I gave him Friday,
Right,
that's one
but
of
I
the
mean,
days.
right, but I mean, he could come in,
Yeah,
he's not waiting on anything to happen before he
No.
comes in.
no.
Okay, thank
okay.
you.
Now, do you guys need us to meet before our next regular meeting? Cause I would think that, you know, if he's gonna say it's okay, he's gonna sign off on it, I don't know about you guys, I'd be fine with him saying, yeah, if he's okay to sign off on it and he says take down the signs, I mean, take them down, we'll review it next month, but, I don't know if it deserves a special
Well, that
meeting,
can be
that's my.
discussed.
Yes, but if he says it's okay, then there should be no problem moving forward at all with advertising. You know what's gonna happen, right? I don't think that's gonna hinder anything at all. I'm just saying, we need to review it, do it the right way, so everybody's good. And
Yes.
if that does mean we need to have a forum or a quick pop in and get it done, I think for peace of mind, it's not a bad thing.
And-
If we can wait till next month, or,
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if they need it, you know, pushed quick, you know, then, cause I don't know if we wanna do a special meeting just for that. I mean, I would much rather than wait and then we do it at the next meeting, that'd be my preferred way to do it, but it's also up to you guys, so.
Or even just, if he
Yeah,
has
we
a
can-
report, can we all review the report online and?
if he submits a report that is signed off on, and he is stating that this is perfectly within acceptable ranges, I have no problem with the signs coming down without a meeting, that's fine. But there needs to be something backing that,
Right,
you know what I mean?
right, yeah, it can't just be worded.
Yes,
No, it's gotta be,
100%.
yeah, it has to be the.
So, I'm good.
Yep.
Because if you on the bottom, Mike is still checking to
Right.
see if there needs to be certain numbers for the preferred for the insurance.
For sure.
Probably isn't because there didn't seem to be much other than the contaminated materials that
Yeah.
need to be removed.
And if we get that report, let's send that to Mike as well.
Yes.
Right, okay. Well, that sounds good to me. Did you get all that, Laura? Okay.
Laura,
Con-
do you need to?
Continuing on with the review of Legacy Center. Oh, is there anything else that we need to review with the Legacy Center minutes part?
I think those were the highlights for the minute.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, then we will move on to Legacy Center Committee proposal to take over rentals. And sorry, it was to take down quality signs, but we already did that, so let's just go to the rentals portion.
And with the Little River Legacy Fund, our nonprofit group, I contacted the Northwest Minnesota Foundation, and we could have the building room rentals deposited in our Middle River Legacy Fund to help us pay for electricity, and it would be considered a project fee. So those renters who are paying, they're getting something back, so it's not a donation, they would be submitting the grant to the Northwest Minnesota Foundation Middle River Legacy Fund, and it's just considered a project fee, like a sponsorship or anything else that's not tax deductible.
Okay, let's start with you, Deb. Anything?
Well, the gym membership was something separate though, right?
Right, the Middle River Legacy Fund can't handle gym memberships, so that would have to be a separate account that would be set up. It would have to have a tax ID associated with it.
So that might be a stickler if you don't have anybody with a tax ID, unless you do set up a separate checking account with like 2 people on with their tax ID.
At Porter Bank, if they would set
And
up a
that's kind of what
separate-
Jeannie had said when we talked about this a while ago, that they would have to set up a separate checking account than the ones people into that.
Okay, I guess I might be a little new to this. Could you clarify to me the difference between a gym membership and a membership or a rental fee?
Right. When I contacted the Northwest Minnesota Foundation, we're one of dozens of community funds that they have, and they said they're simply not staffed to be handling the 1-month gym membership fee, a yearly one, a 6-month one. They just can't handle all those different transactions. But they said like for the room rentals, it's like once a month, or people may pay 6 months. They can handle that volume, but they can't handle the volume of gym memberships.
Okay, Josh, anything from you?
No, just taking it all in.
Okay, any comment right now? Tammy, any comment? Okay, let's see, going back to the rentals here, I think, so, when we're talking about money coming in and going out, I think it would be a good idea for all of us to figure out, you know, whose exact bills or what. I know there was last year, at the end of last year, there was a lease agreement proposed. Do we have any, does anyone know where we stand at this point with that? Legacy Center,
Well, we don't have a lease agreement. I found out that the rental money can go to our Middle River Legacy Fund to help us.
Are we
Right,
talking office,
right.
are we talking office rentals at that point then, or Airbnb rentals?
No, office
Office,
rentals.
okay, that makes more
Office
sense to me.
space.
So I was wondering, like, Airbnb can be a
No.
day or 2 days, so that
No.
was confusing.
They can't handle the Airbnb,
Okay.
or they can handle. like,
Long-term rentals.
Santa's Coffee and
Yep.
Alora Space and
get that part, but I'm just talking about, there was a lease agreement proposed
Right.
last year. Was the legacy still thinking about possibly going with that or not? Or have they not decided
We
yet?
haven't decided
Okay.
on that, we've been trying to figure out the easiest way to
Okay.
manage things.
That's, and that makes sense, okay, but, so then it comes down to, I think, just kind of straightening out who's paying for what and all that, I think that, we want a lot of good clarification there. So can you tell us right now what, everything you guys pay for, again, if you can?
Well, we paid for all the insulation, we paid for all the work on removing all the tiles, we paid for the cleanup, we paid for the lights, we paid $10,000 for the insurance on the building this past year. So I think our total that we paid from the legacy fund was around $52,000 last year.
Okay. So it's only you cover a
And we
majority
paid
of
for
the
the
cost?
roof, we paid for the new metal roof, we paid for the top of the roof. Yeah, and all the auditorium bills,
Okay,
I guess my only question, and I don't care either way how this goes, but my question, I guess, that I'm trying to wrap in my head right now is if you take over the long-term rentals, which I don't see an issue with, the only questions I have with that is, one, currently you're not leasing the building, so it's not your property to sublease at this point. So I don't know how you can be I'm not, this is not trying to sound attacking,
Right.
because I'm not, I'm just wrapping my head around it.
yeah.
I don't see how you can be in control of money on a building that you're not actually totally in control of yet.
And
Now,
that's,
if you sign that contract or a contract of some sort, absolutely, that makes sense to me. But I think all of those funds directly go towards electricity or something anyways, or will, right?
Yeah, so from my understanding,
but we don't have a steady source of income.
No, that's why this is a
Yeah.
hard thing, right?
Right.
And when I look at the cheat sheet of what's going on,
Yeah.
the 2 to 3 year thing and $500,000 is the big scary one on there. Everything else is all positive, that one's still super scary. Everything else is really upbeat.
have we had an update from John yet?
John, I spoke to John.
can we hold on that for a little bit? We'll address that after we get that. But
Do you see how you can, like?
and that's kind of my question too, is, when I'm kind of in the same boat as you. If they wanna take that over and, and do the payment, I mean, they're already doing the payments. If they wanna take that over so it helps supplement and it's still going there, it's really 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. And
It's
but what it
less
comes
work for
down-
our staff
Right,
to do it that way.
right, but what it comes down to is, how do you justify a payment going to their, cause it would be like we would have to hire them to take it over, you know what I mean?
So like, if
But there's
something
no
went wrong,
contract.
instead of Alora calling Alora and saying, what are we gonna do? Alora would call a designated person from the committee and say, what do we do?
And
There'd still have to be some kind of contract.
well, and right now, the legacy committee is almost a subcommittee or a subsidiary committee of the city itself.
It is, we are.
Right.
It's just not spending any money as the city,
No, I agree.
But the Millwood Legacy Fund is a nonprofit.
right, which you guys are also a part of, it just,
Right, and that's what pays the bills.
right, so, I mean,
Would it be helpful to have something written up from the Northwest Minnesota Foundation about?
I don't think that would hurt at all if they could figure a way to, if it said something, I don't know about you guys, but my thoughts, if it said something like, the Northwest Minnesota Foundation, agrees to retain and administer funds from for the building itself, yada yada, make it legalese, I guess, but, but pretty much saying it will be in charge of collecting and also accounts receivable as well. So that would bills then be going to them on some of these things? Or would it still?
It would still work the same way where the Otter Tail power company bills would go to the city pays them, they invoice the Middle River Legacy Fund to pay it. So the rental money would go to the Middle River Legacy Fund, and the Middle River Legacy Fund reimburses the city for the lights.
Okay,
It's just a way that we have some regular source of income, which we don't. I mean, it's running bingo, it's begging, it's
right,
little grants, so it would be one steady source of income.
okay.
But it's not a different source of income, I mean, that money's already being used then.
Yeah.
So,
But I thought the city wanted to get out of.
Right.
100%, but it just has to make sense, I don't see how you can subsidize something that you don't have control over.
So if they came back with, let's say, something written up, I mean, would that at least help us maybe wrap our heads around it? Cause yeah, to be honest with you,
Like a
just making.
management contract maybe?
Would
Yeah.
maybe that, even something like that, just, yeah, saying that they'll manage that part. I mean, it just, yeah, like you said, to try to get my head around it as well, just in, a couple of hours,
Like
probably
Sandy
isn't.
said, yeah, like Sandy says there, maybe that's what makes sense, maybe it needs to be looked at as they're the management group off of that.
Okay. Deb, any other questions for them regarding this part?
No, I think the management piece was what I have been thinking about, and then I know they had talked about if they would have more interest in it as soon as the mill remediation was done and taken care of, and then we can sit down and discuss more. The management piece.
Okay.
sounds
Okay, yeah, there may be
good.
something there, and that's something we could check with the city attorney on too.
And part of the, correct me if I'm wrong here, Deb, but I think in some of our discussions in the past, it's like, if we have a group, you know, sign a contract type thing, right? What's this group going to be? Is it gonna be a nonprofit, is it gonna be an LLC, is it gonna affect, you know, property taxes then, and then just, you know, who's liable for what?
Way above my pay grade.
Yeah, ours too, ours too.
That's where management makes more sense to
Yeah.
me, because in your
Management group kind of makes sense, I think.
Sure.
There just has to be some division there.
Right, there's gotta be some sort of separation and lines drawn so that so things aren't in the gray.
Right.
Tammy, any more questions regarding this part?
It just makes sense because several of those renters use quite a bit of utilities, so that should be applied towards the utility bills, just as kind of.
But it is being applied, we all need to remember that money's still going there,
Because
you know?
the Middle River City Legacy Fund is supposed to have the gym membership and the business rentals in it. And then the bills that come for the legacy, like if it's Otter Tail or the co-op bill or Lee's Plumbing or any of those, they get coded to the Legacy Center at the city site. And those funds that then are in the city pay for that, coded to paying for that.
But
And
then
then the foundation then gets invoiced for like, it has typically only been invoiced for the Otter Tail and then for special
Special projects.
projects.
plus the insurance.
Now your insurance just this last year,
Okay,
yes. Otherwise, the city paid with legacy funds, legacy bills.
so really what it's doing, correct me if I'm wrong here, really what it's doing is taking out some confusion.
Yeah, it
That's
would.
what I,
Yeah.
I think it would.
yeah, okay, questions or comments? Okay. Now on to asking about, Deb, do you wanna continue your question from before,
What was my question?
on the roof?
Oh, on the deed.
Oh,
John,
Yes.
Yeah, John.
John Lynn.
John went, he's on vacation, but he was so nice to call me in, and he said that we did not receive the grant. He will be, when he gets off on vacation, he did say that the city should have received a letter from them. So you guys should have a letter from the deed people. He is going to meet with them after he gets back from vacation, and we are going to discuss why we did not receive it. He does have a few he thinks he knows why, but I'm not gonna discuss that
It's
here.
stuff that we could address for
Yeah,
recent
we
middle
can,
for the
yeah,
next
we
one.
can address, and then it's going to have to be, the city's going to have to,
Is this something where he's gonna come in and do this at like a council meeting as well?
he will, because
Okay.
he will explain things to you guys,
Okay,
and so, but we did not receive it.
okay.
So this is the
Not-
second year we did not receive it.
Okay,
The man has a lot of knowledge, so it's good to have him here.
I think the only last thing would be to keep us updated if the lease is something that you guys are, want to pursue or not, I think, we, at least, I don't know what you guys, we'd like to hear back your feedback on that to either continue it going or not, so.
Yeah, on power management.
Management, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we keep digging into it and see.
No, but the way Sandy understands
Right,
management.
Sandy, I said we would have left that you would like to.
Yeah, I would say-
maybe sit down with you guys and we discuss this.
Tap into her as a resource.
So we don't take up so much time.
Right.
Because she has,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's all right.
So probably after everything is all settled there and then, like next month.
Continuing to forward.
Really good.
Okay,
we used to have.
hearing nothing else, seeing nothing else, I think we'll move on to the resolution for DNR Trail. Snowmobile, yeah.
It's good. Yeah, it is.
Because, well, I think we'll want to do
Okay, well, can you speak up? I'm guessing they probably can't hear in the back there.
all I know is that, Josh and I talked about this before, it'll come up as DNR trail resolution, and so the city gets a report every so often, but the main one that we made a resolution on was in the year of June. So I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Let it hear it.
You got
Just
it there?
accept it.
Okay, I didn't know, I just know I run across it.
Well, I don't see, if we're doing resolutions, just throw it on, as that's what we're talking about. Pretty cut and dry. Okay, for those of you who do not know, the Middle River, the city of Middle River collects funds from the DNR trails, and that is forwarded on to the drift skippers, Marshall County drift skippers. Do we have any questions on that? No? Hearing nothing, we're going to need a motion to be it resolved that the city of Middle River will act as the legal sponsor for an application for funding to the state of Minnesota Department of Natural Resources for maintenance of snowmobile trails managed by Marshall County drift skippers. Be it further resolved that upon approval of its application by the state, the city of Middle River may enter into agreement with the state of Minnesota for the above referenced project, and that it will comply with all applicable laws and regulations as stated in the agreement. Be it further resolved, the mayor of Middle River and the city administrator of Middle River are authorized to sign such an agreement with the Department of Natural Resources. Be it resolved that the Middle River City Clerk is hereby authorized to serve as the fiscal agent for the above referenced project. Motion by Josh. Oh, second by Morgan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Summer recreation. Okay, I'm going to ask who brought to the table. Okay, can you go
I
ahead?
see that there is our old one from 2023 in here. This 2024, we have jointly been doing photograph and photo with MCC. And, they came to me and asked if we are planning on doing that again because they're processing some examinations. So, they are doing this meeting is examinations that happened when we left, or if we liked it, or I believe we let them keep the registration fee. And then, we kept the registration fee, and then we gave them
Sounds great.
I think we gave them $1,000 because they had, the coaches, one of ours, yeah, we hired a part-time coach.
You give them something there part-time.
I thought,
Assistant coach per se. But we use the GMR funding to pay for that.
yes, because we get GMR funding, because we're still in the district. Yes, please.
Can't
I'm so sorry.
I'm trying to.
I should ask that right.
Okay. Yes,
like, we forward the GMR funding onto, we kept the GMR funding to hire the staff, okay? And then we, let them keep the registration fees at $1,000.
We gave it the funds.
Okay, and then what happened was, and correct me if I'm wrong here now, guys, is we sent all of our kids there. Now, did they have a bus? Yes.
That would be a huge part of it.
Yes, that was a big reason.
Yeah.
There was lots of, and they did some home games here for us. locally.
And the younger kids were,
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
They had a split.
yes.
I would,
And I thought it worked well.
Yeah, it was early.
yeah. Yeah, I thought it worked well for me anyway.
Yeah.
And I didn't really complain to the coaches, they thought they were well too, so.
So,
You're gonna be playing together later in life anyway, so that.
Well,
So,
yeah, I mean,
I would assume that we're going to continue on. Now the finer details and stuff, do they need us to come up with that tonight? I mean, what we're giving them, or?
No, I think we should have record of that, it's with MCC, this was from the year before.
yeah, that's the only one I have.
Okay.
Just say, hey, you have the right to, whatever, go forward with it, see how we want to continue the partnership and point out the details later. Right?
Makes sense to me, I mean, that.
And Missy might have a copy of what we signed something.
Okay, is it Missy that runs the, or does the administrating there?
Community ed part of it, yeah, this
Okay.
is through the community ed.
Okay, so do we need a motion on that to again partner with New Bolton?
I'll make the motion if we need one.
Okay,
Pressure
sure.
or somewhere with, MCC.
Continue our partnership.
Yeah, continue on that.
Motion by Deb then to continue partnership in Summer Act with New Bolton. Second by Tammy.
Yes.
All in favor? Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Payment to Tammy Hanson. Yeah,
Yeah, that was me too. She has helped us out so many times over the years, and she never wanted payments for the time. And we did give her seconds and, good stipend, was it $1,000 something?
It was fair.
It was fair. She didn't really want to accept it, but she did.
That was last time.
Yeah, and I feel that we need to make sure that I have asked Laura to keep track of her hours, and she comes up on once a week. And helps Laura, so I asked her to keep track of her hours and just to keep it in mind that we need to keep thinking of her, how to pay her.
okay, is that something that we want to address tonight?
I think this, no peace of mind, and maybe like June or something, we deal with that.
Maybe when we're a little bit more comfortable, we're not using her as much? Okay, sounds good. You guys will all think about that. We'll continue to keep it on the agenda until you feel comfortable enough to kind of, be doing it mostly on your own so that we can just kind of wrap it up in a one-time payment.
And you can let her know we discussed it, so we're not forgetting about her, that she doesn't have thoughts.
Okay? Any other comments or discussion held on that? Hearing nothing. We have up for approval,
I don't think this is accurate.
rate schedules, resolution 23-15. Okay, let me just flip there quick.
No.
23-15, okay. So actually we'll start 23-13. Josh, you want to?
What's the number?
Yep.
This isn't, like, this isn't accurate, this isn't.
This is what we.
Okay, okay.
If I can find it.
Okay. pay rate right now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is currently what we're paying you, Nancy, Chad, and Dave,
Yeah.
correct? So, my thinking on this is, when I was looking at it, was what was ran into last year in October, which was the
Inequity between.
equity, yeah, pay equity. So as I ran into that, couple ways it could be read. One was, you know, you go by what the state has written and their points. So their point system say, you know, city administrator needs to make X, office assistant would need to make X, maintenance needs to make X, and water and wastewater needs to make X, and that's all based on the highest pay, from what I have gathered. So with Chad only being maintenance, at least in his title, we probably can't keep, we either can't keep the rates at what they're at, or we have to adjust the title or our point system for the city in order to match those same points as the administrator. So if Chad was, you know, in charge of all the maintenance, he was the maintenance supervisor, you know, which, yes, he does a bunch of stuff like that, right? I mean, he kinda, I mean, from everything I can tell, Chad, you have things you see that need to get done, you get them done, you're kinda supervising the whole maintenance operation.
Sure, I treat it like it's my house.
Exactly. So, I would have to look into it a little more, but I believe if we feel that his job gives or has the same amount of responsibility, may not be the same responsibility, but has the same amount of responsibility as what Laura has, then we could definitely say that they could be making close to the same rate, and that would make sense.
The state was the one who told us we were wrong.
Right. The state, but I'm assuming that's off of their own.
What is this based on here? Is this based on what the wages were last year with Marty and Teresa and the names just switched on the sheet?
That I do
No, it's
not know.
not, because right now, well, this doesn't make sense.
Here, this is what we
That's exactly what it
discussed.
says for Marty. Dave is no, Dave is higher here.
There we go.
Dave is higher on this sheet?
Correct, yeah, so that would show the 3% potentially. I don't think that is 3% though.
I don't know what the old number is.
Yeah.
What do you have?
Okay, so,
Hold.
and I believe we agreed on, 2272.
My fingers are fat.
For which position?
Hold on
Teresa
here.
was 2272 when she left.
Okay, so if you take Dave's 2024 wage, add the 3%, it should come out to $22 even. Adding 3%.
Okay.
So Dave should be 22
That's
even.
with the 3%. Now, Nancy's, can I
Was,
look at that?
was 1616.
Okay, so that's not right on here.
It was 1616 last year?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, we did add the 3% COLA on there.
Maybe 48.5 cents plus 16, you said?
Yeah.
Yep, so she should go to 1664. Okay, if you take.
This is what she was, and then
What
when,
was right there?
so she was $20.72.
9
No,
cents. Out of
2272.
compliance that, so yes,
Yeah.
if you go to that,
We said it was 2272 as well.
270. right?
2270 is what we,
So,
no, or was it 2272? It's 70 or 72 cents.
270 times 0.03. So it'll be 2338. Okay. Okay.
2266.
2334. So with the 3% increase, that would be this year's wages based on after the 90-day probationary period is when we could go to that point.
Okay,
So
so,
this is a,
so,
Nothing here is right.
no,
okay, so for what I'm gathering from you two here, Alora, after the 90 days should be at 2338.
Correct.
Nancy, for the year of 2025 should be at 1664.
Correct.
Chad Huglow, after the 90 days, should be at 2334.
Correct.
And David Graham, excuse me, should be at 22 even.
Correct.
Okay? And that would be a 3% adjustment from last year, correct? Okay?
Can I ask how this works?
You can sure ask.
How does it work?
How
33 years and I'm making less money than the two new hires?
You're not a full-time employee. I think is how that comes down to.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, David.
Okay.
But I mean, because you have 2 hours per position per day, correct?
Roughly.
Roughly. And I think that's why. Now we could try to get clarification on that. What's that? I'd like to hear everything so I can understand. Please? Okay.
Was that addressed in the pay equity at all?
I
That's
think
what we
that's
need to
what
figure out.
we should look at, is go back to the pay equity, because,
Cause that should have been decided then.
well,
Great, 100%. And I'm literally all I did was calculate
3%.
what 3% was over what last year's wages were.
right, no, but I think, yeah, it comes down to that pay equity sheet, and, to be honest, I only read it for maybe an hour and a half, and so,
That's a lot.
yeah, it was tough to digest. I mean, there's quite a bit in there. But yeah, from what I understand, the city itself is able to create its own sheet saying, this is what each job has to do, and then you base your wages off of that.
And that was what was decided last summer?
what happened was that Teresa found out that we were out of compliance. The state sent a letter saying we were out of compliance. And so this is why we had to revisit this, and we had to be, certain steps had to be made, so we increased hers, I believe it was 2272 is what it is.
2270 something?
Yeah,
So
so
just
that
hers-
it was an appropriate step above Marty's, because Marty should not have been paid more than her.
But it
and
was just
that's-
hers, that was not.
Yeah,
not
so it was
the-
just hers, that pay equity was out of compliance.
Okay, and so sorry, that would adjust the Aloric Lake City Administrator, that would adjust to 2340 after 90 days. Is when that would
But
adjust.
no, David has a really good question, and I don't
Yep.
necessarily understand that either. I just always assumed it was because it was a part-time role. Now, I'm not saying that's why, and that's something that we need to obviously figure out.
Yeah, I agree.
I also, to be 100% honest with you, I don't know why your job and his job aren't salaried positions. To me, they should be. And for budgeting purposes, it would be a lot better for us.
Right.
One thing there, I think that should really be visited, because frankly, I don't care if it takes Dave an hour to do his job, or 4 hours to do his job. If he's getting it done, if he's getting paid for 4 hours, but he does it in an hour and it's done, good for him. Good for whoever can do that, you know what I mean?
Because there'll be times when he has to go get water samples or do something
Right.
at the school where he's gonna put in
Or-
4 hours.
Lift station goes down, or whatever,
Yeah.
For emergency.
Yep,
I would really like see those two positions be salaried, just for budgeting purposes more than anything. We know exactly what we're gonna pay.
Okay,
Wait,
So-
can I jump in?
Yeah.
For somebody who does payroll, I would kind of suck for Chad if he's pushing snow on Christmas.
Yes, but what.
right,
Cause he gets time and a half for those payroll days.
right. Salary itself is, I don't think, it's got gives and takes, just like hourly does. Cause if it was, he put in 60 hours, I mean, yeah, he's definitely going to get the short end of the stick. But if he's able to get everything he has done
And take Friday off and do a
and
side
take
job.
Friday off, yeah,
Or go fishing with his family and not use vacation.
yeah. So there's
Give and
good
take.
and bad.
And there could be something built into, I'm salary, but if I do anything above and beyond, like extra, I get stipends or I get extra pay.
Yeah, I don't know, it's,
So, I mean,
I like knowing what my check is every 2 weeks.
Okay, and so as I'm looking at the wages and that, and this is gonna come to our budgeting talk later, roughly, since we're here, what are the hours? We're having a Laura work 40 a week.
2,080 on admin position, 2,080 on maintenance. I believe David is roughly 1,040-ish.
Okay,
I mean, W2 would show that, I guess.
I'm just, what do we expect of them? And I'm not going by, exactly what they did.
Right, and Nancy, I mean, my understanding was, when we were looking at Nancy, we wanted 3 days a week.
3 eighths?
3 sixes is
3
kind of what we
sixes?
thought at one point.
was that lately or was that a
So
while?
9:36.
Cause we had also talked about, just a couple hours a day to make sure it's right there at 8 o'clock,
How is your
to get the mail and stuff.
Pretty high right now.
Well, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I didn't hear you.
I asked how her workload was.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah, you're learning, it's a lot, I know,
Right,
been there.
so, yeah.
Yeah, so like you said, they'd be 936. If you said 3 eighths, it'd be 24 times 1248 at 3 eighths.
Okay, cause yeah, I think this will come up a little later in our budget talks too. But now, I'm just looking here, the city council hereby authorized to follow. I'm thinking we should probably get this done tonight. That doesn't mean that we can't come back next month and revisit some of our questions.
I don't think we can get it done tonight until we know the answers
Okay.
to the point system.
Okay? So,
I don't think.
so right now we just keep them at the same rate until we can come back? Is that what you're?
Well, right now, we have 2 employees on probationary pay,
Okay,
so that's a no factor,
okay,
And right now, I think you can safely move David and Nancy up 3%, but if we find something on the water sewer end of it, we can back it.
okay,
I think that would be the simplest.
okay. So just for clarification, what we could do tonight is we could do the 2 positions that have been established,
Correct.
and then we can come back again next month with more information,
Potentially after back pay.
potentially have the back pay. But then, we could at least address some of the questions that we're having,
I agree. I
okay?
think that's the best plan.
Tam,
Thoughts?
yep, thoughts, questions, concerns?
Back to the first of the year?
Yeah, 'cause it's for 2025.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be massive.
No, not huge, but something. Morgan? Deb?
And then we were planning on having a budget meeting shortly to go over things.
Well, I wanna talk about the budget later in this meeting,
Oh, okay,
so.
I didn't see
I
any.
should have shut my truck
Oh.
off, I'm thinking. It's cold out there.
It is cold, I walked.
You're crazy.
Yeah, city budget concerns there, towards the end.
Oh, we done that, okay.
Yes, yeah, not reviewing the budget as a whole, I don't think.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but with that then, let's see, it is a resolution, so we need a resolution, at least an amended resolution for Nancy and David.
Yeah, I would say,
Setting the 25.
Yeah, and you're, just to let you know here, you got some numbers that
Oh, yeah.
are in 2024 that would need to be adjusted to 2025.
And then the bottom one, 23.
Yep, so, little bit of adjusting there, and then we need a motion to approve it.
I don't think we can approve it yet.
Oh, okay, so we're not approving it with
I
just
don't-
Nancy
I
and
don't-
David?
I don't.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we could approve that end of it, sure.
That, well, that's.
Yeah, we can approve that.
So what Nancy and David are making right now is okay?
It's not okay.
No,
No.
with amendments, so, this will read, whereas the city of Middle River personnel policy requires the city council review compensation to city employees on an annual basis, which has been done during the preliminary and final city budget approval meeting of the city council. And whereas the council evaluates COLA and CPI, employee performance evals, competitive wages, and budget revenues and expenses, whereas the approved 2025 budget reflects anticipated salaries and benefits, so therefore be it resolved that the city council hereby approves the following compensation for all employees effective the first day, pay date of 2025, and that would say wage adjustments for 2025, Nancy Olson, office assistant, $16.64 an hour. David Graham, water and wastewater, $22 an hour.
And based on that reading, then it already needs to be backdated to January 1.
Yeah, for David and
The first
Nancy,
payday of 25.
so if we wanted to approve those two, we need a motion for the resolution.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by-
Pass the resolution.
Motion was made by Tammy,
I'll second.
second by Morgan. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. TIF lot resolution, I believe, or no, what do we got here?
The first one was the rates.
Oh, okay,
Front
that
of
was the same as so the rate and the 2313 are the same.
Okay.
So going to the TIF,
TIF resolution?
what's that?
Rates for travel?
The 2315? Oh,
I don't know, this is a policy.
cause oh, no, that, we set the travel rate at the last meeting.
Okay.
So on to TIF lot resolution for Ashley Peterson.
I think it's Angie Peterson.
Yep, that should be Angie. Very good catch, thank you.
Oh, really?
Yep. So this is the resolution, be it resolved by the city council of the city of Middle River, that the city of Middle River deed lot 7, block 1 of Gentry Edition, according to the recorded plat, therefore on file in the office of the Marshall County Recorder, city of Middle River, Marshall County, Minnesota. Said parcel of land contains 30,000 square feet of land, more or less, and is subject to existing easement to the record. To Ashley, which needs to be amended to Angie. To Angie Peterson as a single family unit. Need a motion on the resolution?
Make a motion.
Motion made by Josh,
I'll second.
second by Deb, all in favor? Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. TIF lot resolution, next one. Oh, are you guys looking at the square footage? Did you all read it?
You know what the square footage is? I'm sure it's in compliance,
I'm
right?
sure it is.
Okay.
60 by 26 and 8,
1,600.
1,600 square feet.
That was right on, right?
1400.
14 acres. Okay.
Okay, so as long as it meets that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one we have is John Chef Jr. And his meets it, correct? Okay, so we need a resolution on that. That one reads, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Middle River, Minnesota as follows, that the City of Middle River deed Lot 6, Block 1 of Gentry Edition, according to the recorded plat thereof, on file in the office of the Marshall County Recorder, City of Middle River, Marshall County, Minnesota. Said parcel of land contains 30,000 square feet of land, more or less, and is subject to the existing easements of record to John Sheff Jr. as a single tenant. Need a resolution, or a motion to be made on the resolution. Motion by Tammy,
Second.
second by Josh, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Revised garbage contract. And it looked like they had fixed, so it doesn't say City of Viking, which was our one concern with it. Other than that, nobody had any issues.
Where did their rates come in compared? Just curious. It was not last week.
Compared to,
Last week, last contract.
I did not have the last year's contract, but I believe I do have last minute's meetings. Last meeting's minutes, sorry. That's one thing I didn't save, I guess. Do you have that information? Anybody?
There wasn't a drastic
I
change.
just dealt with this today, my school list.
Okay.
It's not, I think it's like a $3 increase, oh no, this is the garbage, this thing, I was thinking water.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And you don't have the garbage contract on the computer at all
I have this one.
with the,
This is the old one.
with pay rates?
I don't have this one, I don't believe.
Do you have the last meeting minutes, or would they be in there on approved meeting minutes?
I can't.
They should be there on approved or back here. Right? Garbage removal, institution, okay, no, doesn't see the prices.
Yeah, I don't see anywhere where we have the old rates at all. But I know that, I believe it was the only one that even came in.
It was,
Yeah, that's fine. I was just curious,
Right.
right? If we go.
Okay, so we said we would approve it at, the next meeting once those changes were made, so we just need a formal motion to go ahead and approve the garbage contract.
I'll make a motion.
Alright, Josh, so moves,
I'll second.
second by Deb, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, on to Tom Erb Soil. So Tom Erb, was one of the
One of the
gentlemen.
candidates, yeah.
Yep. And he had sent an email, I believe it's in the back of your packet there. Wondering on, looking for soil tests to be done. So he was looking for a soil test to be done. Soil boring should be done to ascertain the true nature of the soil and help determine excavation and fill requirements to meet local codes. I asked that you put forth to the city council a request for the cost of the soil borings to be borne by the city. Please let me know if this topic can make the agenda, so it's on here. So I happened to go in today and talk with Alora and Nancy. I brought this to my attention. So I did a little legwork to try to help out here. and called Mr. Erb just to figure out what, because they had sent him some Stantec report earlier, and it wasn't what he was looking for, so he asked for a different one. What Nancy did find was a different report here. I'm trying to figure out. It was a different form, and it had the soil testing from some company, some engineering firm out of Grand Fork or Fargo, which had 3 different bore sites with the information from each boring. Yeah, it was Stantec in TVI or something to that effect. The company no longer is. They must have been absorbed or sold out to a different company. Anyway, I did call them and talk with them to try to see, because we have 3 different boring sites, one on lot 1, one about lot 7, I believe, which would be John, and then one around lot 10, which would be Dave Christie's. So there was 3 different borings. They weren't very different. With that being said, we don't know under the ground, obviously. There could be a huge difference in there. So I just talked to him a little bit to see what his thoughts are. And he said it's probably not a bad idea to have the boring done if it's your house that's going there, because insurance reasons and this and that. So I just asked him, I said, rough quote, what would it cost roughly per lot to do something like that? And he said, with the drive from Fargo, we're obviously not the customer, and just kind of gathering the information he had, he said $9,000 a lot. And so, when we compare that to our finances,
I think they would reach up to
right, which I did call them, leave a message with them, they didn't get back to me. So, and maybe they can do it for a lot less, but I don't know. And again, up to you guys as a whole, but $9,000 would be a lot of money. And obviously, we wouldn't go with that company. And I think this is something that Laura should reach out to.
I don't think you're getting a dirt sample and there's 5 feet of frost either currently, so.
Yeah, I've got no clue on how it works.
There's a tool.
Okay, but I did a little footwork anyway to try to figure it out. So hopefully Seth will end up contacting us, but it sounded like this, Mr. Erb was looking for us to warn the expense of it. I guess I wouldn't know until we had an actual number. Right. So, but he still is looking for us to contact him tomorrow with at least some information for him. So,
Kind of told me you phoned already, I guess.
So,
Jason Bird.
have you talked to him at all?
Yes.
Does he have any kind of other information than what we have?
Jason Bird deals with the TIF portion of it.
It has nothing to do with any of the specifics of the.
From talking to him, what I've gathered is that he is the TIF guy. You get a hold of him when you want to know if somebody meets the qualifications, and then after that, it's our land. You do with it as you will.
But
So
there's a lot of soil testing, road construction, you have to do soil testing. There should be somebody that you have to,
Still to be certified.
yeah, and I'm assuming that Seth would at least be able to tell us, who to contact, what they'll do it, yeah. I would think so. Let's see. So, and I did let them know that up there, there's a high water mark there, it was, the soil waters were quite a bit, at least from what I've heard, and from what the test that they had done before, showed. So I also did, send the test to Josh Smith, who is kind of his main contact for this. I did send it to Josh to forward to him so that he had that. And I'm assuming that we should get in touch with Josh again tomorrow to get in touch with him again, or we can reach out to him, whatever we feel best as. He seems to be fine talking to anybody who gives him a call, so,
Just to update,
yeah, we could let him know. I think probably talking with ESEF would be our number one thing, because we want to know how much that's going to cost. And before we can even give them a real good answer, we got to know how much it's going to cost, and then we'll go from there. Anything else that we can think of that we should give information on? Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And then we'll go from there, but then if he continues to want to proceed, then we will have to continue with the resolution. And then next step after the resolution for all of these, I believe, is the warranty deed or well, we can either do a warranty deed or the quick claim deed. Quick claim, I believe, Alora, you guys have a copy of the original quick claim deed when it was Annabelle Czaplinski that first applied for the first water. You have one as well? Okay. So, quick claim deed?
Yeah.
So I think, right, so we should probably put that on when we release the information to them that, hey, we approved this, next step is to do the quick claim deed. This is the cost that it's gonna incur to you, because yes, it's a free lot, but there's gonna be, some costs associated with it. I think that should be in like a letter that we send back to them. And I'm assuming that's what we do now, Laura?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I know Nancy's been doing a lot of the footwork on it there, but, okay, perfect. So we'll get in touch with him, go from there. Next is city budget concerns. So that's where I just wanted to address what we're paying out, and then hours wise. I did not. I just happened to think about it today when I looked at the budget. Because the budget, we're sitting roughly at 35,000 in the general fund. Is that correct?
Everybody, but I did email this to everyone as well. Another one budget thing today that was gonna be a lot longer. I did email whatever I was prepared to everyone's email number today.
And so, just thinking about it, our big payments come June with the first half property taxes, July with LGA, and then again December with second half property taxes. And talking with Tammy, I thought LGA was one payment. She believes it's two payments split at the same time, so it'd be July and December. This year for LGA, we're going to be getting 140,000. $140,444, I believe it is. Yep, and that's for local government aid, LGA. And then, don't quote me on this, but last year's budget, with the budget increase, was right around 135,000. I couldn't remember exactly, and I couldn't find it before I came here today, so, but assuming it's those two. I just wanted to make sure that we looked at, you know, how much we're going to be paying out and make sure that we're falling within, you know, just to give ourselves an idea
Right.
of budgeting here. And I wanted to make sure that we looked and made sure we had enough money to at least make it to June with paying the employees. Did you look for the current balance, please? The ball way to that. Yeah. Okay, so current balance, I apologize, I was wrong. Ending balance is $36,034.24 is our current balance as of 131. Now I do know that, you know, Dave's partly comes out of, like, Alora's, your paychecks partly come out of water and sewer. Right, when you pay out, yep. Okay, so I know it's not gonna be perfect, so, let's see, February, March, April, May, June, this is 5 months roughly. Roughly 20 weeks. Right around $800 for full time. Looking at $18,720 for wages. Roughly 18,672 for Chad. Now Nancy currently works just about all week? Or
Yeah, every day.
she's in every day? Okay,
For about 6 hours.
6 every day, roughly? Okay.
30 hours.
30 hours.
So hers would roughly be 9,984. Dave, roughly 10 hours a week. 20, sorry. Yep, from either. 8,800 in the next 5 months. So I got a grand total roughly of $56,176 in wages. Wages alone for the next 5 months.
Right.
And of course this, you know.
You're not taking into account payments.
Right. I'm just wondering, you know, again, my first year on here, I I'm just wondering how you guys feel, if we're comfortable, you know, or, I mean, if we're not worried, are we, you know, are we looking to, you know, and I don't know exactly where all these are coming out of, you know, I just, when I looked at wages versus how much we had, I thought, you know, it might not hurt to pinch our pennies as much as possible for right now until we can really see where we're at.
Right.
And like I said, you know, there's, money comes out of, was it water and sewer to help
Yeah.
with payments or with, wages as well.
And then
Stuff like
what
that.
were you calculating for wages for Laura and Chad at the rate that was in there?
Yeah, I was just going by what was in there.
Okay.
And again, it's just quick countertop math, you know, but, and not actually taking the time to look into it. I just wanted us all to be at least aware of it, that we wanna, I don't know, probably tighten our,
Yeah, no, for sure.
a bit, you know, I mean. So if there's like a huge expense coming up, we probably wanna let, you know, Dave and Chad know that, you know, we might have to consider holding off for a little bit if something happens. Cause, I mean, it would really stink to have the Bobcat go down, but it'd be better to have a job than a Bobcat.
Yeah.
So, we can keep these guys working.
I think we've all, not all of us, 'cause most of us are, you know,
That's right, minority do know.
but, we know that we need to trim our office assistant hours. That needs to happen, 100% needs to happen. However, our new city administrator needs guidance.
Oh,
So-
absolutely. I don't, and I don't see it, you know, coming down. I'm not saying let's, you know, and we're not gonna, in the reality of things, we're not going to say, hey, by Nancy cutting out 1 or 2 days,
Yeah, but
It's gonna help, but it's
it's
not-
actually huge. It is huge.
Oh,
So
is
if you go, I mean, if you take and put her at 24 hours a week, 4 6-hour days, times her wage of, what was it, 64?
1664.
Okay. So, well, hold on. Take 6 hours off times 60 and 64 and multiply that by 52 weeks a year. That's a $5,200 savings by shaving 1 day. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, 20% obviously of what she's making, but
Right, which
it's
I'm,
a fair amount of money.
right, which, and I'm assuming, you know, she was originally hired on, like you guys said, for what, 30 hours? No,
She was
sorry.
originally hired to help us with some of the basic work and to be in the office at a certain hour because it was a flexible position for Lizette. And this way, there would be office hours from 8 to 10 or 8 to 12, and she would get the mail. she would-
Consistently.
And, yeah, every day get the mail and answer phones and whatever and be there just for those. And we had actually talked about going down to 16 hours a week, but then we had employee changes and that.
Right, and she's been, yeah, she's really been the rock in the office,
Been
for
very
sure.
valuable.
Yeah, she's been the one there throughout all this, so, yeah, and more credit to her, you know, she's really took on a lot more of a responsibility than she would necessarily have to, but, and maybe that's something we just talk to her about, maybe we
I think we need to,
just talk to her and say, once Laura gets a little more comfortable, we're gonna
do
have
this Monday through Thursday thing for now or something.
Right.
You can have 3-day weekends.
Right, and we can talk to her, who's on our hiring committee again, or our, I'm sorry.
You and I.
So maybe it's something that you two should run in and just talk to her a little bit and say, what's the ideal amount of hours? And are you okay with cutting back and this and that? And, you know, just kind of feel her out where she sits on this too.
She's not naive. She sees
Right.
the numbers and she knows what's going on. So it's not like anything is shocking that's going to be brought up.
Exactly, I would agree. Yeah, just to, you know, kind of, you know, maybe make her feel like, hey, you don't have to take on all this type of thing, so.
Sorry, I agree.
It's definitely somewhere, and then, of course, we'll keep that in mind moving forward, I would assume, till, you know, where we can cut when we see extra funds where we can get them, try to get them. I'm just, and I know something budget-wise, coming up that we all wanna see done is the pump house. And if we can get it done through grant dollars, absolutely fantastic, but I think we should at least start hopefully trying to build up some sort of nest there, so if something happens in there, that we can fix it. So I would just keep that in the front of your minds going through the next month again. If you think of something, write it down or whatever. Do we have any questions, any comments, any concerns on the city budget part? Tammy? Okay. Morgan, Deb?
Good.
Josh? Okay. Lead and copper service line. This was brought to our attention at last meeting by WeSeth. Dave, if I could pick your brain a little bit here, I believe from talking with you, all the main lines and secondary lines in Middle River are plastic.
Plastic or copper?
Plastic or copper, okay. And I tried to call WeSeth today just to find out, but do you know, has the inventory been done? The initial inventory?
They were doing it,
Okay,
and that's the last I heard. And I got a nasty email from the state saying, where's your lead and copper survey?
Interesting.
okay. So yeah, maybe Laura, or do you usually deal with WeSeth, or is that usually Laura? Okay, okay, so Laura, my thoughts on this, and you guys chime in. We wanna find out where we're at, because if we've had that survey done, we would like that to be sent into the state.
Yeah.
Yeah. If that is going to require us to pay something, I guess I would like to know that before we go ahead and do it, but I assume since the survey's been done that they can put that in for us.
I'll pay penalties for it not being in.
Right, and it sounded like, at the last, when he was at the meeting, there was 30 unknown lines, but those were private lines. And so, I don't know, but I think, if it's a private line, and this
Well,
would
if
be.
it's a private line, the city still goes up to the curb stop.
Right.
Okay, so do we have to have, whatever 30 that is, do we have to have a list of them and have you go to the house and check them, do you know, or something like that?
Well, if he gets me a list, I can check them.
Okay,
I probably know what they are already, but,
right,
I've been in and under every damn house every house in town, sorry.
right. Okay, so, Laura, I guess I would, and again, you guys, but I would assume that we would want her to talk with WeSeth to figure out these 30 unknown lines, and to tell us, where we have to go from here. Because if all of our lines are fine, I don't know why we would have to put in for this project priority list, which is
Right.
what they were bringing up, that we want to get in on this project list. But if we don't have any projects that are needed, why pay the $500 to get on the list?
I would imagine though, if WeSeth has already done it, it has been given to the city with those 30 lists of names, because I know he talked about that, and I thought he said the city had that list.
Well, okay, so,
Of those 30 names.
and we might, but
Yeah.
it may have gotten lost in the
Yeah,
shuffle.
Yeah,
Um,
so, if you get a hold of him and say, you know what, did you send us this, if not, can you send it again, or will you send it again with those 30 names?
And do you remember if he said anything about sending it into the state? I can't remember,
He said there was the 30 unknowns, I
Okay.
don't know that he could send it in until those were checked.
Okay, so yeah, maybe check on that as well, Laura. If he can send it in, or if we have to wait, so yeah, we just need to figure out what we need to do from
Yeah.
here. And I just don't think we go on a project list till we know if we need anything.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, that was all I had from that. Any questions, comments on that? Hearing nothing, we'll move forward to staff reports. We'll start with administration. Laura, whenever you're done typing, you go ahead and take your time, and then you let us know.
Okay. So I just want to address concerns. One may have, the villagers may have about city employees and city elected officials being members of local committees and community clubs. I couldn't find wanna confirm that, you know, me and Tammy being on the legacy committee is not going to be a problem, or, jump in anytime.
Well, there's three of us on the rodeo committee, but we're not discussing anything city related, it's rodeo.
Right. Yeah, from what I've read anyway, as long as you're not discussing, you know, having an outside meeting, an illegal meeting, then it's fine. Of course, we all wanna be aware of that. It's the same thing with our emails, like, when you send out an email, blind carbon copy, that way we're not having a meeting. It's all just between us and her, then we're not having any meetings that are at outside any time. And then the other thing that you're thinking of was conflict of interest, is that what you're getting at? Okay. And so we're in a city of 309 people, I mean, we can't expect people to not be on other things. When I was reading the memo from the League of Minnesota Cities regarding the, I just said to slip on my, conflict of interest, thank you. When I was reading their memo on the conflict of interest, it just, from what I had read, as long as you are not making any money on the transaction, it's fine. So, you know, if we're making a decision that it's going to end up paying Young Store, if it's going to end up paying Sportsman's Club, Middle River Community Club, anything else, the fire department, anything that I'm part of, I just have to stay out of the.
Refrain from voting.
Yep, I have to abstain from voting. And that goes with all of us. If we're gonna somehow financially benefit, we have to abstain. It's the same when John was on the council. And you're not an elected official, but you don't have a vote. So
So, yeah, it shouldn't affect.
I don't think it would affect you. The only thing I can see is if somehow you were, a decision that you had to make was going to give you much, then you would just say, hey guys, I need to defer this to you. That would be my assumption.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just be really transparent all the time.
Stated well.
Yeah. Okay, did we answer your question, hopefully?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else that you have?
Oh, that I have?
Yes.
Okay, so I was told that, well, you and Matt talked about this, but, that I am Chad Pablo's boss, and I need to know what that looks like, if that is the case, and if not.
Right, so that's why, reviewing the people's job descriptions, when I was reading yours, it looks like she's supposed to be the one in charge of the city and the maintenance positions and this and that. If his pay equity is going to be the same as hers, then his should say that he is the supervisor of the maintenance job.
Yeah,
So therefore, he would answer direct to the council.
he does answer direct to.
Oh, okay, that's how it works?
I feel so.
Okay,
We've had it both ways though, we've had it where the maintenance man will contact the administrator and share it with the council or ask the questions or share the information and they're not here.
Comes
or
back to
whatever.
teamwork.
right.
Yeah.
And I think, and the only reason that I questioned it was I talked to Dan. No, Lorzell. And from what I gained from him, his boss was Lizette.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they work together, but, I mean,
But
from what I
basically,
gathered.
she funnels our wishes,
Okay,
go through her to him and back and forth. But yes, we had decided it was good to have
Right.
them attend meetings if possible, so that they could voice their concerns or their information.
right, as they should.
Absolutely, yeah.
As they should. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure it was clear that we know what the positions are, because yeah, if he's the boss of the or if he's in charge of the maintenance, then he is in a supervisory role, and I would assume that his pay equity could be then bumped up. So,
And like the city administrator, when she has more experience, she'll know how we function and she'll be able to say things or answer questions. But mostly she would probably defer to us first to get any clarification before she, Chad, you do this,
Okay.
you know.
so then, if Chad does have questions, he can just come directly to us and we can give him whatever information we have at the time. Personal, sounds good to me. anything else from you, Laura?
That's it.
If nothing else, Chad,
What do you want to know, I guess?
anything that you think we should talk about, any maintenance updates?
The filters at the Legacy Center, the furnace filters,
Yeah,
I don't know where they are
they
exactly.
should be in the maintenance, back in the shop, there should be a big roll of them, I believe.
Okay, and is that like the hallway filters or the filters on the door of the furnace itself?
I guess
And
that,
Nancy also told me about a squeak. If you hear a squeak, I'm supposed to crawl underneath something and grease it. So,
wow,
I haven't heard the squeak yet, but I don't know who to get in contact with to find out those stuff.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're talking about like in the,
In the furnace room, the janitor's room.
oh, in the janitor, is that the one down the main
You go
high
in the
school
doors
hallway?
I think
and
yes,
it's
the
left.
maintenance.
Okay, okay, it's got the fire,
Yep,
alarm
alarms
system.
go on the door.
Okay. I wish I could help you there.
Okay, well, that's something I'm looking into and like,
Okay,
what does the Legacy Center want me to do in there? Just keep track of the bathrooms? Am I mopping floors?
Well,
I mean,
that's-
they'd like you to do a
Sidewalks.
lot there, but the city
Right.
council would like you to do as little as possible.
Well, see,
Well,
that's
sure,
where
that's
we're,
what
we're kind of in transition because we don't know what the roles are right now. If the Legacy is managing and taking over, they will be making those decisions of what needs to be cleaned and who's cleaning it. But if we are still, since we are the city, we still own the building, and we should be doing some maintenance up there. And your wages were coming from the Legacy City Fund as well, parts of it.
Okay.
So that would be the bathrooms and the hallways and the gym, you know, mop or sweeping or whatever.
And I'm fine with that,
It's nothing
but
major.
the hallways have to be clean, right?
Yeah.
They can't have ping pong tables and card tables and
But the
bookshelves.
Airbnb side, you do not touch, they have their own
Okay.
cleaners. It's
And
only
see-
the high school.
You guys gotta get the doors and the keys figured out, so I can't get in there. If I can't get in there. I shouldn't have a key to get in there, nor should anybody else in the community. You guys should get them doors and those keys changed, so there's not so many keys out in the world. Like, there's people that have keys that you guys don't even know have the keys.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, we know,
Okay,
we know.
cause like, it just like, come and go. There's no rhyme or reason. I keep the sidewalks clean, cause I figured that was something I should do.
No, that's great.
Thank you.
Okay.
yeah, I would think that, you know, you guys as a whole, I'd like to know your opinions, but I think my biggest thing is, one, the streets are done, right? So that right away we're clicking, you do a great job of it, so I'm just kind of putting it in what I think should be done. You know, streets and that stuff, if there's any of those large projects that we have you working on or whatever, that should probably fall under, you know, things to get done. But you got a couple extra hours at the end of the day and you haven't hit your 40, going up there and getting some of those things done, I think that's,
Yeah, he brings up a good point though with the doors again, like
Absolutely.
what's going on there?
So why weren't the keys turned in? Cause I thought all of those.
They've been
were
rekeyed like
rekeyed.
7 times, but people keep coming up and figuring out ways to get them apparently, and they're master keys.
If we know who these people are, because we have cameras. I mean, if it's at certain doors where we have cameras, we know who these people
It's
are.
once they get in.
Huh?
It's once they're in. The weight room, I suspect, I don't know, once they're in, not all doors, the 2 doors, they don't lock. You just gotta push your way right through.
which doors are that?
The glass
Library doors, anytime it's 2 that come together,
Oh,
and
They're
it doesn't
supposed-
have a center post.
That should be locked.
What she want.
That's
Right,
only-
someone has lifted all the latches, so the peg isn't in the ground and in the
You can just
top,
push
so
it
the
open.
door just swings freely.
Are you talking the door by the bathroom?
I'm talking all the doors that are 2 with no
Right.
center post. So like
Okay.
wooden doors inside when you walk out of the library, or into the library, or down the coffee shop hallway. Those doors, if you're on the right side, they will not keep you out. You can just pull them open.
okay.
The gym is the one I'm concerned about, because we have gym.
The gym is the electronic one, that's a good one.
I was
So
gonna
that
say, I
one
don't
is
think
no-
that one opens,
okay.
but.
No, that one
Okay,
doesn't
that
open.
So that one doesn't open into the school.
So,
No,
so if you have a
That's what I was-
gym key,
I haven't tried.
you can't make it into the main part.
No.
You can't.
I didn't think
take
so,
that
but-
gym key.
Right, okay. Cause that would have been, That would not be good.
So this is a regular key that somebody's getting in and then.
This was, if they have a key to the,
The coffee shop door, the church door,
yep,
you can
coffee.
get in right there.
Okay.
Especially if you know when she's got the door open.
Okay. So coffee and church door.
The outside door.
Yeah, the outside door.
So if
But
you
she
can get
keeps
it-
it open for packages and customers and whatnot. People go in there.
So that next double door then, to the west, after you walk through, that one, you said you can close it and it does not lock.
Right, cause you know, there's tabs on the other door, you know how they work, like they
Yep.
got locks, they're unlocked. So the door is locked, but you just pull and it opens.
And if we locked it, do we have a key to unlock it?
I haven't found a key for that one.
You have or have
I
not?
have not.
Okay,
And you gave them all the keys
Yes,
that Marty,
yes, I-
and you can't find it.
No, not the one that opens that.
so
And I even have some keys that open all the doors, but it won't open some doors, right? Like it will open other doors. But there's outside doors that it should absolutely open, same brand lock and everything, and it doesn't do it. So there's a lock conundrum, and the doors are very old.
Okay, well, I think maybe what we should do is probably get in there, take an inventory of every door and figure it out. And I would be willing to go with you, Chad, in there
Okay,
and figure it out.
it's a locked one. 'Cause
Yeah,
every
oh, I
closet
know.
door is a locked door too, you know?
Yeah, and then at least then we have a plan, a layout, we can kind of spitball some things to bring back to the council and figure out, or, cause, you guys are pretty locked, or pre-key. Yeah.
So that's just it, like even on that key ring I carry, I can tell that they're all off of one key, there's just different variations of it.
Okay,
And then
so,
that's the puzzle to figure out which door is which.
right. Cause I gotta think with those master keys, most of them, you're not able to. Exactly, yeah, you can't just bring that up to Youngstown, cut a new key there. Okay.
New door on the library on the east side, that was Sandy probably has that, Sandy had a key to the library.
She said here or in another meeting, she's had keys for like many years.
She doesn't have any library keys.
Not that I know of.
There's a big ring that I have, it's,
Yeah, no, that would probably be coming from
Right.
Marty.
So
That last
I
time.
really do think that,
I think Sandy said she doesn't have any keys.
I really think probably a good baseline would be if Chad and I go up there, we get it figured out, we can even send a list to the legacy committee and say, alright, what keys do you guys got for what, you know, 'cause we really should have an inventory of that. And I would say, Laura, if you have a moment, or you come across it when you're going through and you see something that says key inventory, probably pull it up, at least to print it out or look at it and see if we have anything. So just in the back of your mind, if you see it. Cause yeah, I think that's a good idea.
But Sarah can care of all the keys that-
We can do some, and I can do some calling as part of that too, just so that we have information like that.
like if the Airbnb is the elementary wing,
Yes, but they have access to the home ec room, to the gym, because they do get a gym pass if they're a meeting. So that's what that's always.
sure, so it's not all the doors, I guess, you know, we could make a path for them with keys that you would absolutely know.
Well, I think we're right through the whole thing.
Yeah,
Right.
that's the.
So- Yeah, well, I think we just gotta start somewhere and then go from there.
And the other thing was the skid steer, but,
What do you need?
well,
Yes.
it's hydraulic oil change, has it ever been done?
Probably not. Well, I mean, not since we went in.
Because it says it should be done every 1,000 hours. And the site class looks like used oil. So I think it's probably something that should be.
Dave, do you remember a time, anyone ever changing it? No.
We've added to it,
Added
as
to
far
it?
as I know, because we had a few leaks we fixed.
And we spin it so hard with the snow blower and the sweeper and the street sweeper, we're taxing the hydraulic oil. So I think it should be done.
Something you wanna do.
I can do it, but it's the oil, it's gonna cost me a bit, especially if you go from iron so.
Yeah. I would,
It's 9 gallons for the chain case, and it's 8 gallons for the hydraulic system.
Okay.
And then it's
So,
roughly
$210.
$160 for all the filters.
Yeah, but preventative maintenance is good.
right, yeah. Yeah, that makes
But
sense,
if we're in a
especially,
pension, it'll be fine until summer.
well, but here's the thing, if we can do $200 of maintenance now to prevent $2,500 of fixing fees later, I'm much more in favor of spending my money on the 200 than the,
I don't know if you wanna go through Iron Eye though, or if you just wanna go to
just go up, I know they have quick lift, is that?
Well, I know, but the Bobcat guys will sing, no, don't do that.
of course it will.
I know they will, but,
Check with, Northwest Power or something, if you've ever made a deal,
okay.
or L&M.
Right, well, and I'm thinking the hydraulic filters, I mean, you can probably get Wix filters just for low.
I'm sure you can.
And if those guys, I mean, maybe it's worth a call and say, hey, can I put quick lift in it, or whatever.
Well, we can, we just have to make that decision, but Bobcat will tell you no. You
Yeah.
have to run Bobcat.
There's no warranty anymore, I wouldn't be worried about it.
Right,
Yeah.
and that's what they want, is warranty stuff like that, and we're not gonna get any warranty work, so.
My personal theory is, you know, if we can get it from co-op, I'd like to get it there.
No, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Tammy,
I agree.
Morgan?
Yeah.
The pickup's working after the second transfer case?
Yes, yes it is.
After the second one?
It seems to be working fine, it does clunk when you put it into gear or into park. There is a clunk that it
Really?
does. I don't know, it doesn't seem to be like alarming, but I've been paying attention to it.
If you wanna run by vitals or whatever, do, you can ask them to
Yep.
check it out.
Okay.
Otherwise, I think you're kicking ass, for lack of better words.
Okay, that's
Streets look
good.
good,
I could do more, I just don't wanna
looks
get
good.
too many hours, and you guys go, hey, slow her down now.
All looks good.
I really appreciate you keeping this whole, the gym, keeping that.
Well, that's the
up there.
busiest place in town, I don't know if anybody
Honestly,
noticed it, but.
if people don't realize it, there's a lot of us who use that
Yeah.
space.
It's too cold to use the skating rink, so. But there's ice there.
There is ice
There's ice,
there.
we used it this weekend, it was
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't heard anything, or,
There's
no news is good news, I guess, from the community, so
That's
that's.
good.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is, like you said, the skids here, if you wanna do that, start
Okay.
thinking about lawnmowers soon, getting them ready to go.
I talked to Marty and they're all
Done.
ready to go.
Perfect.
So,
That one needs a bearing cover. On
Which
that
one?
one front wheel. There's a bearing cover's been missing for about 4 years. I've mentioned it many times and nobody bothered to.
On the one lawnmower,
Yeah.
on the new lawnmower or the Husqvarna?
No, the older,
Altos,
Altos.
if you can get a picture of that or whatever, I'm sure Brian would buy it at employee cost.
Well, she probably put new bearings and everything in it. It's just been in the dust for years.
Yeah.
Just At least the one side. Or clean them, you know, take it out, clean, and see what they look like.
Well, that'd be good. What else was I thinking?
Cars in the street? Do anything about that?
Thank you, yes, that's
Yeah,
one,
There's a car on Second Street.
yeah, there's a car on Second Street.
Well, and then there's the one uptown, the King Ranch Ford.
Was that Danny?
I don't know, is there an apartment up there? I don't,
Yes.
yeah, cause it's,
Tax office / apartment.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
cause yeah, we gotta remobilize the second day to clean out this spot, so, I mean, it costs you guys money.
Right, and,
It's myself.
no,
Oh, I've seen it.
Lyle Johnson's car, yes. Right along Second Street.
Right by Nelson Inn.
Yep. I believe we do have a policy, a certain policy that Laura may have to send out a letter.
I believe Teresa probably did.
And she may have, and, but between her and John, that was 2 months ago already, I think we should just do our due diligence and start it over again.
Yeah.
Good.
Then Anything else from you, Chad?
I think we're good for now.
Okay.
Tires, but you're pinching pennies, and it's almost over, so.
Okay.
Oh,
If we can hang on for this year, I will.
Yeah, the skid steer is, it's dangerous when it's icy like this. If it starts to slide,
Dave mentioned that
it
last
just
summer.
goes. So I can run into a building or car, and it makes me nervous. I don't know if it should get changed. Because they're fine for the summertime, right?
Okay.
It's fine. It's a hard ice that we get on, it's like, I got nothing.
Yeah.
And I looked at a couple of things, they do offer chains for skid steers, but I'm afraid of what I might do to the street or the sidewalk.
I suppose, yeah, you don't want increasing the one person square inch to those things.
Right,
Digging. Well, it looks like Josh is doing a little. Yeah, maybe we can get a good deal on some tires and we'll, like I say, I mean, we should definitely watch our budget every month, but I think
Sure.
we can, and
And it's like
again, we should balance it with our maintenance budget, so that'll be with talking with Laura too, to see where we stand on the maintaining part of everything. So, yes, it's your job to find everything that needs fixing, and all you can do is bring it to us, and, if we turn it down, you know, at least it's off of you.
Okay.
The lights.
Oh.
I noticed it's fixed in front of the fire hall.
Yeah,
They got fixed.
yep, they were fixed right
And
away after
those
that.
two that were here fixing it, they made it sound like, yeah, we fixed the lights, but I don't know for sure. If you guys have a contract with them or what. But the two kids that came and fixed it, they made it sound like, yeah, this is our job, we've just been busy.
Oh, okay.
That's what they made it sound like.
I think we talked about that a couple of
Last month, like, yep, we'll get down there as soon as it moves up.
Yeah.
We'll be there, real quick.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, we need new banners, I don't know if that's you guys. The Middle River banners, they're in rough shape. I don't know which ones
That
we're
is-
supposed to put up either.
That is not the city, those were donated, and then the city, instead of buying it, we donate the time of the maintenance man to put them up, from what I understand. And so, if you can't put them up,
Well, there was one missing and they're just in rough shape.
okay. I think it was Lori who headed up, yeah, well, yeah, I think they both donated, so, we can let her know, just either start fundraising for new ones, or, cause if it's broke, we can't keep it up there, we understand that, so,
Okay.
yeah.
How are the poles that come off
They're,
like off the light?
they're fiberglass, so
Yeah.
they're okay, but they've been in the wind, you can
Yeah,
tell.
yeah.
Okay, so just the banner right now,
Yep.
how many?
And I have to count to be
Oh,
sure.
okay, you,
I think it's 10.
okay. I can get you a number to call.
Okay.
Give her a phone number, and then when you have that information, you just call her and let her know, hey, this is how many I can put up, this is what we need, and yada yada, so. Then you can let them know.
Sounds good.
Perfect. What'd you find out on the tires? You're gonna do what you're looking?
Kevin a message.
Okay. So we can come back to that?
See if we can get a discount or something.
Alright. Come back to tires. Okay. Dave, Public Works?
What do you wanna know? We still got room in the ponds, we're doing good that way. We still gotta get this pump picked up and brought in, but I dropped the ball the day when they came, that's when I was the only one here, and he showed up and I was at work.
Where does it gotta go?
Huh?
Where does it have to go to?
Spicer. I could call, well, now that Chad's here too, we can, between the two of us, we can get him in to get the pump in one day. It's just, when somebody from Minnesota Pump Works is in the area, they'll swing by.
Okay.
The last guy was going to Winooska to do some work on there, so he come through town, And I forgot to set it outside, cause I was kinda running crazy still, so.
If it becomes crazy or something, I can probably throw it on a truck and get it down there at some point. You know,
Otherwise, the guys will be at the convention center for the training too, and if I have to, I'll throw it in the back of my pickup and haul it down, and they can take it out and put it in theirs and haul it to wherever they need to.
sounds good.
And that's coming up this month or next month?
March.
March. Okay, perfect. Okay. Perfect. Anything else for us?
Well, coming back on the water flow test question there.
Yes,
Confused a little bit, like when the state guy is trying to say that the fittings that were used aren't proper, that doesn't jive.
the fittings they got, it's on their line, it's not on the city's, it's on the city's got, I'll show you, we have brass. This is all the city owns on that line.
Okay.
Is these two fittings that come to the water meter and the
And the
water
meter,
meter.
yeah.
Everything else is theirs.
Okay.
They got black, half inch black gas pipe fitting, which is just a piece of steel pipe that's threaded, internal threads in it.
Okay.
And they got 3 of them in a 6-foot section of that pipe. And then they have another splice about 20 feet, well, 15 to 20 feet away, right above their power box. That's just another one of them black steel fittings that they never bothered to take apart and clean. So I'm thinking that was down to, that's how much water they're getting through those steel fittings.
So
That's how
starting to
big
make sense then.
That's all the size of the hole going through for their water.
And I think that's the point of the flow test, is so that, well, we can look and say, if
You
we're
do have
having,
the meter.
right, if we're having flow issues before or right after that meter,
Right.
before the meter, obviously the only thing before the meter would be the
Curb stop.
so
Yeah.
then it would be, if it's right after the meter, then it's curb stop or meter.
Or it's
And
internal
then,
in the house.
and exactly, then we can go from
So,
there.
what, how I was planning to do that flow test was, I got some fittings set up here. I was gonna do the first one with the meter on.
Yep.
You know, so it'll be like 5 gallons,
Regular.
time it, so it's coming through the meter into the bucket. And then I was gonna take the meter off and flow test it
Right.
2 times into the bucket.
Yep.
And then we're done. And then go over to Matt's house, cause he's on the same line, it's just, 50 feet apart, the line's going to his house. And do the same thing at Matt's house. And then Tony Litzinger's got a basement, he's roughly the same distance from a little farther from the water tower, I was gonna do it in his basement.
But I mean, Matt's pressure should be worse, cause he's
It's
further
looped,
away.
it's looped,
Oh.
Yeah, it's a loop line.
it's all looped.
And this is, between Dave's ideas and also conversing with the gentleman from the state of Minnesota.
Eric Bowley.
Eric, yes,
He's
so
Smith-
he has been in touch
That's,
with
I
them.
was just questioning when he said fittings, but I mean, I can't see that Ferguson would use crappy fittings,
No,
so.
no, it's in-house,
It's gotta
it's
be,
not ours.
it's gotta be spec, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, so we'll,
I'm
Yeah.
assuming all the same fittings, yeah.
She had plumbers in there, she said.
Yeah.
and maybe it's, maybe,
They're not
maybe,
sending their licensed plumbers out to look at this
Well,
stuff, they're
maybe-
sending some flunky journeymen that don't
well,
know everything yet.
right.
maybe the plumber themselves just, didn't see a fitting or,
Yeah.
is working
Yeah,
on
well, you
different.
guys, I mean, you have a plan to figure it out, but I was just curious on the
Yep.
fitting question, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I was just
as
curious.
far as their carpet being ruined from the water meter, no. 'cause
Well,
when we-
that
when-
I think we'll end up getting,
But when he wanted to replace the valve in front of the meter.
Yep.
So I shut the water off, he replaced the valve, I was there and watched. I did not do the work, he did the work.
Okay.
So when it leaked, which I knew it was gonna leak, I said, you gotta heat this up with a torch now, and put your hose clamps on and clamp it down. Well, he told me a couple days later that it was dripping. So I don't, I mean, the
No, I
second time I had the
understand.
meter off and on, maybe things weren't snug as tight as they should have been either, so it could have been a little bit of both, but.
and I'm
So-
assuming you're probably going to get a call at some point from,
Yeah.
Dan or someone representing the insurance part of that,
Yeah.
asking you,
So-
your role, so I would assume that you being the expert on it, you answer that, so.
But either way, it's,
Wheels are in motion.
it's wheels are in motion, so yeah, you know, it's half a dozen one or the other, you know, there was a leak and whatever.
I was just confused when she said after you took the water meter apart, some of them didn't know why they were touching the water meter and who was doing that,
Yeah, no.
so.
But yeah, they wanted to replace their valve coming in because they had it wasn't a gate valve, but it was like, you know, there's only just a small opening in some of the valves.
So they replaced that
So
one.
they wanted to replace that
Okay.
to a ball valve, so it's full flow in the valve. So I shut the water off. Didn't have tools, so about a couple press wrenches and then channel locked down so we could do his thing. I don't remember if I removed meter, he removed meter, but whatever, it was taken off and put back on. And there was a leak, I guess, obviously, so, anyway, there was a leak in it.
Okay.
But yeah, there's still a steel fitting that wasn't replaced, or repaired or whatever.
And hopefully that's what it turns out being, and they, for a couple bucks, you know, get their water pressure back, that'd be the best case scenario.
I talked to him about this, and when Edwin and I had that valve off, I said, you know, maybe you should look at this here, because I could look at the pipe and I could see that there was, you know. Well,
little
it was
buildup,
that
I
far
suppose.
down, so we took it off, and I said, you know, maybe we should check this. So we took it off, and yeah, it was down to like this. Well, then there's another one on the other side of the meter, there's two on the other side of the meter, so we took them apart too, same thing. He just scraped them out, stuck them back on, not the deal,
Yeah.
so, but,
So 18 inches of that on each side might be good, but beyond that, no.
well, it's black plastic pipe.
And that won't build up.
And
with
that
the- right.
stays clean. I mean, you'll get a slime layer in it, but that's about it.
Right. So, anything else?
No, I gotta pick up some bolts to start replacing those. Any place I should get the bolts in particular, Young Store fine?
Perfect.
Okay. So I can just get a few at a time and replace the ones. So I gotta grab some clamps from home and kind of hold things together when I do this. So I gotta shut everything off, let the tower's got water in it, so it'll be fine. It's just cut one off, replace one at a time so I don't.
And we haven't had any freezing problems in the tower.
Knock on wood.
I know.
No,
I think Spruce.
The recirculator.
Three times.
Yeah,
what?
at
Spruce has
least.
been in Stephen like 3 times. So.
The recirculation valve's working good in the tower.
Good.
Cause I have been shutting it off throughout the summer and turning it on in the fall, and they said, don't do that, let it run year round, so. I just gotta find a different cover for that lens, cause when the electrician put it on, he put it facing up.
Yeah.
Now where's water? Right down into those glass threads, it froze, it's busted, so it's just sitting on there. I would like to have had it hanging over the side, so it's hanging down so the water would run off it.
Does make more sense.
I'm gonna see if I can order a red plastic lens or something for it, so it ain't quite so bright too. Now just get a gallon jar and put over it,
Perfect.
Yep, sounds good.
something like that, just to shed the water out of it so it don't break again.
Oh, we got water, that's good. Perfect. Okay. Review of last month's minutes.
Yeah, but Josh doesn't do his whole lot.
Yeah. Or it'll be like the end of the day before we adjourn.
Okay.
So, send an amendment then, all but,
Well, do you wanna do it now and amend this then, or what? That works too.
yeah, we do amend the minutes saying all but Josh. Sure. Yeah.
Thanks for nominating me when I'm not here, Mike.
You're welcome.
Take that.
That's right.
You know how that rolls.
Oh, I do, been there.
Yep, and then corporate signers, Matthew and Tammy and Teresa. I know we had to amend that, to put on there.
And myself too, I would imagine.
Oh, are you on there as well?
Well, the bank accounts anyway.
Yep, so we'll have to remove, Dave, Teresa, and you then from there.
I would like to see Nancy added to that,
Okay,
based on if somebody's not there, you need something for her.
okay. So we need, well, we'll get all of our amendments here. And then we'll go from there.
Do we need to look at that data access policy yet?
Oh, that was brought up with the,
It just says Matthew request changes to data access policy.
oh yeah, yes, no, we do not,
We didn't need a motion?
we did not pass it.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep. That,
Oh, we just kept.
yep, we
That's
just
fine.
kept the old
That's
one.
fine.
Get quite a bit and not getting paid for actually, working.
And a boy.
Your salary rate.
Yep.
Are you saying you want Nancy added or removed?
I think she should be added, she can't sign or anything, right? I think she should be
Are
able
you
to.
sure?
I'm 100% sure, 'cause when
Yeah.
I picked up that transfer case, I had to get it back.
No, cause she was on there
Yeah.
part time.
Yes, I mentioned it to Nancy.
Jeannie said she never had been.
Oh, really?
So she didn't come up.
Okay.
'Cause we had a-
Jeannie thought it was absolutely ridiculous that she didn't have the ability.
I thought she was on
Oh,
there.
yeah, we
because-
should, yeah, we should probably have her, if she's working in the office,
That was sick.
but,
Tom,
She was next.
probably.
okay, so if we can't find any more amendments, we'll need a motion to, approve the amended minutes to read, that all council members took their oath except for Josh. And then under the signers, we would need to state that we add Nancy. And we also need to state that we remove Deb, Dave, and Teresa. So we need a motion to approve, the amended minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion was made by Josh, second by Deb, all in favor? Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Review of last month's financials.
I got it on my phone here.
Oh, okay.
So right now we have $327 in summer rec.
Pretty good.
And then we get, is it 2,000? 3,000 in Greenbush, something like that.
You were 2,500
Yeah.
or something like that. Oh, they don't have back stand.
So,
Well, they can't do that.
and it's out of that we pay to the,
Yeah, so we pay for our assistant, I believe, or
Okay.
assistant coach to help them. But yes, 1,000 of that should be able to do that. Okay, so moving forward, looking at this financial report on my phone, there needs to be one in every binder.
Do we know why we have any nets on here?
You know, I actually questioned Matt earlier, when I was looking through them earlier in the day, I was wondering what that was. It says unemployment insurance.
Yeah,
yep, so, I'm assuming that she was an employee of the city at one point?
rather than cleaning ones
Okay,
for a short period of
Yeah, if she wasn't a direct employee, then I don't know.
That should be there.
No,
Okay,
But then I saw,
maybe we could,
later I saw something with void.
there's a void up here on the 14th. And
Yeah.
but on the 15th, there's an unemployment insurance, so the day after it was put back in, like, I think, if that's what that means.
I'm
That would
curious.
probably be a Tammy question, I bet.
Yeah, I'm curious, yeah, where
There shouldn't be any,
unemployment insurance. Yeah, that,
Benefits.
nope,
2220.
no, $22.20.
Yeah. Nancy would have an answer.
okay.
Nancy would have an answer for you. She told me the other day along with somebody else, I don't remember who was in the room with us,
Okay.
but she has an answer for that.
Well, and did you pay unemployment insurance all along? Has that been in there?
No, it should not,
Well,
Well,
we pay uninsurance, or unemployment insurance, well, if the city's anything like regular business, you pay on all your employees and then they collect if the,
Right.
right, if they're laid off or they're fired. Yep,
So the school was 5,700
But she,
last month?
let me see.
I'm assuming that's the big one.
And when, just so you know, I don't know if you looked at one from before, but when like the otter tail, it
Oh,
does say,
oh,
who
right
it's-
there.
45.
I was gonna say, 45,
57.
96.
it does say who it's coded to, it would say the Legacy Center. Okay. I didn't know these things. On some roads. We owe Nancy some back pay.
Yep.
The, so, gosh, what was it? Was it 31st or after the first of the year, she got a bump up in pay. But my computer CTAS was coded to pay her 2024 wages instead of 2025 wages.
So she's already got her 3%? Is that what?
As
She
far
was.
as I know,
But then that would be wrong if it's what you just,
We did enough for your fee.
because I had it also do that to, you.
Oh, so we just approved it tonight, but it might have been in already,
but not the amount.
but not the right amount.
Well,
Yeah, it looks like you're gonna have a little footwork on that one. Prepare that one.
Sorry, there I said Legacy Building.
And now with the electric, where it says void, electric services 10/16 to 11/14, all that part, was that just a double payment and then you voided it, or?
It was, there's a couple of voids in there, because I either made a stupid mistake or something, so.
Oh, well, that's fine, I just, nothing crazy or anything. Okay.
It's either I didn't know what I was doing, or I put in the bills afterwards.
Right. And now this one's not directed towards the two of you that have been here longer. The garbage fund and the sewer fund, those are the pass-through entities, correct? The garbage and sewer fund should be pass-through entities there? Yeah, okay. So I'm assuming even if it's in the negative now, it's gonna work itself up last month's financials by Josh. Any second by Tammy, all in favor? Opposed, same sign. No opposed, motion carried. Consideration.
Sorry, so I have you guys sign these before we have.
Yes.
Before we send them.
Consideration for late items, I'll read my own, but is that?
That's a great thing. Get it figured out.
Oh boy, I'm here. I, Joshua Lasel, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Minnesota, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of office of city, or of council member of the city of Middle River, to which I have been elected to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God. Signed, related. Mr. Mayor.
We got a. Do we have any other late items besides?
That was paid to her, to
Okay, do we have, a discrepancy on the financials that we're discussing? Oh, okay.
But we have a question.
Yeah, I would say we wanna look into it, probably have an answer by next meeting. If you say Nancy's got one, you know, I just think you probably wanna hear it. Yes. All right, do we have any other late items besides the oath? Okay, claims list is coming around. If nothing else, we just need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Motion was made by Morgan to adjourn, second by Deb, all in favor? Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.